Good morning, traders, and welcome to the market forecast. Today is Thursday, July the 29th. My name is John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. As always, we're always seeking accurate context in the marketplace, looking for good risk management, and ways to stay patient. Hopefully, if you're in the markets already, you're heading your way. We did have some important economic information come out this morning. 7:30, the GDP preliminary number came out. They were looking for 8.5%, a 2-point miss, 6.5%. Again, this is just a preliminary number. Jobless claims both came out higher than expected, more unemployed people, and there was even backed up by a revision higher of last week's number. So perhaps a little bit of ominous information in those numbers. We're still waiting for 9 o'clock Central, pending home sales due out, and then 9:30 the nat gas numbers due out. As far as other news, lots of talk about the earnings and Facebook and PayPal beat earnings and revenues expectations, but they both had a little bit of a warning in the future. The stocks prices for them, Facebook and PayPal, that down around 4% to 5% respectively overnight. So apparently both of those companies facing some headwinds. From what I understand, Facebook is looking at some difficulties with ad revenue from some new feature of the iPhone, and PayPal is suffering a little bit as far as subscriptions are concerned. So we'll keep an eye on those. As far as the U.S. equity futures this morning, looking like they're going to be opening mixed. They were mixed early this morning after the economic information come out. Very little reaction in the equities from that information, but we are still in the midst of earnings, and we've got some earnings coming out today. Amazon earnings are due out after the close today. Some other notable earnings already due out, or already out, I should say. Nestle, mixed information. Merck, mixed information. And Anheuser-Busch, of course, beating on both categories there. And then, of course, we have Amazon after the close, T-Mobile, Gilead, and everyone's favorite, Pinterest. All those due out after the close. It's a long list. That's just a couple of the notables. Crude prices break out of short time frame balance, citing draws of recent inventories here in the U.S. We're going to be looking at that very shortly, looking like they may be growing some legs after the open already. So a quick look at the VIX a few minutes ago. VIX is down about 3%, 1765. The fear factor seems to be leaving the equities. Dollar index back down below $92, $91.97. Dollar taking a bit of a hit overnight, as well as after the economic numbers that came out this morning. The 10-year yield up 1.27%. It was 1.26% this time yesterday. So 1/10 of a basis point higher. Make sure you smash the lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome here at the Market Forecast. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we do go live. And I do love to say good morning to everybody. This is best part of the day. Brian, you win the prize. First one in the room, the mystery prize. Theo, good morning. Your good morning. Polymath, good morning. Adelson, have to ask, what's the prize that we win when we're the first in the room? It's a mystery. Cesar, Deanna, good morning. Nico, Polymath, Wisdom, that's very nice. I hope that you are taking something out of these sessions we do every day here. And, it's a little something every day maybe take out of this. So Ryan Williams, good morning. Moguitar. Hey, Moguitar, nice to see you. There's a name I haven't seen before. Laura. I feel like I should know you, Laura. Ednelson. Best gift. Yep, absolutely. Zerain. Greg H. JD. The Dancing Bear is in the room. Murph, good morning. The best gift for me is cold hard cash. There you go. Well, yeah, you can probably get by a little wisdom with a little cold hard cash. Harry Gordon, good morning, all. John, reading and trying to grasp all that Mind Over Market has to offer. Thank you. Yes, it is a lot of information. I find them, every time I read it, and I've read it a number of times, I always pick up a little something more out of it. Angelina, John, Jason, good morning. Drones, good morning. Jim Wolf, Janus, good morning. Prophet Eon, George Adams, Olifi, good afternoon from Lagos, Nigeria. What's up with the FOMC meeting? Well, they didn't do anything. Apparently, they didn't shake up the markets with any vocabulary that they were using at the share presser. So we'll press on, and we'll see what they say when they release the minutes in 2 weeks. Ange, good morning. Rob T. Nelson, from Bogota, Colombia. Welcome, Nelson Benitez. Good to have you here. KM, Fred, good morning. Absolutely. I hope there was some good information that you all were able to gain yesterday in the group coaching session. Another good session with some great questions. And my man, Vince, good morning. Apparently, we sent out some kind of a survey recently, and I don't know who is sending them in, but from what I understand, there's a lot of really nice things said about me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that and how important it is for me to be able to be here with you all and to be able to help in any way that I can. So I thank you all for the kind words, and we'll be here day after day, most days, and we'll see what we can find out. Speaking of that, why don't we jump in and take a quick look at the crude oil? I got my notes right here. We've got solid charts. I've got the right feed. I've got people. Let's dive in. All right. So the inventory draws have a shot for the upside. We've been basically, like I said yesterday, like a tennis player, center of the court, just waiting for the next volley, and apparently the next volley looks to be to the upside. It eventually, one thing or another was going to break. It was either going to be lack of demand or lack of supply that was going to create an opportunity for us. The shorts have lightened up, apparently. We lost 8,300 on this move to the upside yesterday, so I think some of our shorts have bailed on the idea that price may be heading lower. That's sometimes a caveat because short covering takes buying power away from the market. We're going to need some new business to continue this upside move. Last week's high going to be pivotal. It's been pivotal all week. It's been magnetic all week, last week's high. So last night, it found some support in and around that area and seems to be continuing its move to the upside. Taking a look at the 30-minute. All right. So our last week's high continues to be... Oh, actually, this is a naked point of control from way back. Last week's high is here, finding support against it last night. We've got gap rules in play. Did we open with a gap? We closed the gap, but the gap seems to be providing some support. Point of control, naked point of control here, providing some support. We did have some overnight longs that did kind of reconcile. So I'm calling those kind of cautious longs. This naked point of control is going to be somewhat pivotal for us today. We opened, we looked below it, we're rejecting it. We did close the gap. It's going to make things a little bit more challenging for us today. I would prefer not to close the gap and to just look for opportunities to buy weakness. Already we've got a pretty decent move to the upside going here. I don't want to step in front of this. Our overnight high, of course, can be a little bit of resistance for that. It's going to be a challenging day. We've broken out of the balance area that we've been in. When we break out of those, upon acceptance above the high of that area, basically calling this point of control the high of that area, we need participation. We need volume. We need new business to push the market higher. If we're recognizing that volume is good and we're seeing some good participation, it increases the probability of this move continuing to the upside. In longer time frame for acceptance above this level, it's going to take a daily close. We don't have that kind of time. So try and be patient. I'm thinking above that point of control, if we have the opportunity to buy weakness in the day time frame, I'll be looking for that opportunity. And again, one of the things that we are looking at is context. We have a potential breakout. One of the other things that we are looking for is good risk management. Good risk management puts us up against this low here for a potential upside move. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, we look for the next opportunity. Remember, the third thing we talk about every day is remaining patient. E-mini S&Ps. I'm going to make this really big so everybody can see. There we go. Day 5 in balance. Last week's high has been visited 5 of the last 5 days. Well, 4 of the last 5 days, not including today. We lost 500 in open interest yesterday. Woohoo! Seems as though the market is really just spending some time balancing here, evening out inventory, and looking to finish up any old business. Old business means we need new business, new participation to break out of this balance area, almost similar to what's going on in crude now. We're looking for new participants to join the auction process to continue that move to the upside. Right now, our auctioneer is pandering. The auction process has stalled here. What is going to happen? Are we going to bring in new buyers to the upside, or are we going to bring in some sellers, perhaps even sellers from long time ago that may be looking to take some profits? We're going to be watching the extremes of this range in order to do that. We need new business for change, and in the open interest yesterday, we had no new business. A drop of 500 in open interest in the S&Ps. Paltry. All right. Here's the 30-minute chart. It appears as though earlier we were going to be opening inside of value. We open outside of value. That's saying something. Do we have any overnight inventory? I'm gonna go with kind of cautious longs. We got too short. We're kind of building some longs here prior to the open. Maybe some short time frame buyers looking for this market to continue its move to the upside. The last week's high I'm looking at is really kind of the high end of the balance area. I know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, we did put in a new all-time high. We did look above there. We did close above there, but we did not maintain activity up there. So I'm looking at last week's high as a kind of an important level. It's yesterday's high. It's last Monday's or last Friday's high. There's just a lot of confluence up there. So I'm looking for an opportunity near there. This is going to kind of be my pivotal area. In other words, it's going to give me risk management. We're looking at a change in potential context. The auctioneer is pandering here. He's talking about how great the S&Ps are and how much we should love to buy them and all of that. And if he doesn't incite new business coming in, we may just continue to consolidate. We may even continue a move to the downside. Do we have information that I was looking at your question, Fred, and I lost my train of thought there. I'll get to you in a second, though, there, Fred. Do we have, I remember now, do we have any information that the auction process may be kind of weakening on the upside. Well, we put in an all-time high in the regular trading session. That's one of the changes that we've seen. We've seen overnight sessions. We've seen the regular trading hour session chasing new highs put in the overnight session. Now, we've started to put in lower highs. We haven't really necessarily started putting in lower lows. So I'm cautiously optimistic that this market has some business to finish up here. The fact that the all-time high in the regular trading hours and the all-time high in the extended trading hours are one tick apart tells me that there's a pretty good possibility that the only reason we came off this high is we got a little too long. The market has now reconciled that inventory, and now we may be prepared to and ready with money to continue this move to the upside. And I think that last week's high is a pivotal area for that. So we're going to watch the open. We're going to be probably opening out of value. Opening range trade may be something to look at if it presents itself as cheap enough. NASDAQ daily. All right. So, very similar situation. A little deeper move to the downside here that we experienced on Monday. We actually traded to the weekly kickoff low in the NASDAQ. We did not do that in the S&Ps. Similar highs, similar pandering activity. We have a previous weekly kickoff high here, which is that big fat round number that Brian Beamish always talked about, 15,000, and it is really kind of centrally located inside the current area of balance. So I'm not thinking that it's going to be all that impactful. It's been run through many times. We're kind of looking at the same situation. The auction process is to the upside, but the auctioneer is pandering. He's trying to entice new business to come into the upside. We had a drop in open interest yesterday of 5,500. I think we got a little too short on Tuesday. It looks that way. Take a look at the 30-minute chart now. And here we go. Where are we? We're nowhere. We have no overnight inventory. We have price inside value. This is going to basically say to me is patience. Patience. We're looking at the bigger picture. We're right in the middle of our balance area. Basically, our balance area is the range from Tuesday. And we're right in the middle of it, almost like the tennis player. He volleys over here, he comes back to center. He volleys over here, comes back to center. It's just waiting for seemingly new information. I don't really have that much to say about the NASDAQ today. It's just not presenting as prepared for any bigger opportunities. Now that can change in a heartbeat, of course. Gold, finally we get a little bit of life back in gold here. Lost 5,200 off that low that we've been bouncing off of for a couple, 3 weeks now. It appears as though the buyers have won down here and we've exhausted any sellers that were coming down into this area. Of course, finally we get some decision making here and it happens in the overnight. Darn it. I was asleep. But we did have a late spike at the end of the day yesterday that might have been indicating that this is a distinct possibility. Those sellers down at the lows seem to have given up and turned tail the other way. It doesn't hurt that the dollar is back down below 92. Take a look at the 30. So now the late spike that we're talking about, gold actually closes regular trading hours at 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern Time. So settlement is always going to be right about that last trade there. but there was more information coming after the regular trading hour close. Look at the volume after the close. It was the best volume of the entire session. Some buyers came in and started coming into this business and into this market, and it may have actually been shorts from below because, again, we lost 5,200 in open interest. But I'm viewing this as a late spike. The late spike situation says if we open the following regular trading hour session in or above the late spike, we are looking for opportunities for price to continue to move to the upside. It's a pretty substantial gap we've got here. We know we've got some overnight longs just kind of hanging out here. Look at the volume last night in the London session. Really good volume. That's encouraging for continuation to the upside. We're going to see if we do continue to the upside. And oh, by the way, this is the DEES contract. I almost forgot to say that. We are trading DEES. There's more volume in the DEES. It switched over yesterday, so I've switched everything over to DEES. And we've adjusted all of the important weekly kickoff levels. 1840s weekly kickoff high. We have a naked point of control from the past year. This is last week's high in gold. This is kind of an important level here. Again, what are we looking for? We're looking for new business to come into the upside. We want buyers to come in and continue to move this market higher. We're seeing good volume up here, get a little bit of pandering in short time frame here, and kind of magnetic around this naked point of control. So we are going to stay patient. We are going to look for good opportunities according to day time frame information. It would not be unreasonable to look for a potential pullback towards last week's or yesterday's range because of the magnitude of the overnight longs. But if we can't break this market, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to push this market right up to that 1840 weekly kickoff high. And we'll touch base on the euro and the 10-year. The euro, much like the gold, has kind of gotten some legs to the upside finally. We hang on a second here. We lost 4,300 in open interest on this stab at the downside that just did not succeed, and we saw a pretty decent upside move by the end of the day yesterday. Another move overnight above weekly kickoff high. This is another, I like it when these things happen in regular trading hours when I'm ready and available to respond to them, but it does give us information. Big potential for directional activity here. This break of this weekly kickoff level may create a new market state. We had a downside market state. We had a consolidation type market state, range bound. Now this break to the upside, if it brings new business, could bring a new market state to the upside. Not suggesting any way that is a certainty, but it is a distinct possibility. 30-minute trade. Okay. Let's see here. 1871, weekly kickoff high, breaking out above it. Also a naked point of control. We've checked it. Well, not necessarily in the regular trading hour, but now we've got a gap and we've got that naked point of control, which remains basically unchecked in overnight session. We've got overnight longs. We've got a gap to the upside. If we can't close that gap relatively early, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to tell us that we're looking for opportunities to buy weakness, so to have this market continue this move to the upside. Again, this is a potential market state break. We're looking to see some momentum and some participation in this move. If it just dies up here, then I'd say we're probably going to be looking more like an opportunity for us to buy at cheaper levels, perhaps the weekly kickoff high here and a naked point of control. If we can't close the gap, then of course the market may continue to move to the upside. So there is potential directional activity in the euro today. The 10-year rates unchanged. Balance unchanged. Not that much to say about this right now. I'm going to take these off because these are distracting me. Here we are. Previous weekly kickoff level, magnetic. Not seeing that there's great opportunity in this market here today. Again, range-bound activity. Focus on the extremes. Okay, here's that previous weekly kickoff level. A little bit supportive here. But again, if we're at the extremes, that's the only place I'm really interested in looking for an opportunity in the 10-year. Okay, we kind of looked down to one of the extremes right here. We looked at one of the extremes in the overnight. Anything in the middle, I'm not that interested. The range is too small for me to be interested in anything in the middle, if you will. Hope that makes sense. All right. A couple of questions here. Good morning, Vinny and Ravenwise Murph. Well, thank you, Murph. That's very nice of you, and I appreciate all of you. Fred, Harry Gordon once said, I must have, oh yeah, I have. I've read Mind Over Markets a number of times. Do you remember how to find Delta on the T4 platform? I do, Fred, but I don't have the T4 platform open on this particular computer that I'm presenting these charts on. Tomorrow morning, I will start it and I will show you where to find it. But you find it on the properties on the market profile window, and then look for summaries, and then look to find the delta that's unchecked, and that's going to put that up for you. Let me know if you find that, Fred, and again, I'll be ready to show you tomorrow if you haven't found it yet. All right. Jacob read once, but still got time. Well, that's a good thing. All right, let's take a deep breath. Be ready. We've got about 2 minutes here before the equity open. I'm going to stay grateful, creative, and humble in my trading today. Remember, I don't make the market move. The market does what it's going to do. It's my job to find opportunities and manage risk. Trade well today. We should see Dan for the market recap today at 3 o'clock, and I'll be back tomorrow morning on Friday for the market forecast. Until then, trade well, get out there, and profit. Have a great day.